Here's Johnny. Wait a minute. Hello, folks. It's Top Gun here, and I got a good one for ya. No, seriously, all work and no play makes Jack a very dull boy. It's been a lot of buildy, and I'm feeling good. Yeah. But, not exercising that muscle. I really appreciate the one between my ears. Yeah, I had some fun. I got talking with Don, so you can blame him for me actually coming up with some more accurately, fun time breaking math as my model takes kind of another leap. Thank you, Don. So, proposed crypto adoption rates. Fun facts. I love numbers, the internet was adopted at 76% a year. What does that mean exactly, 76% a year? Well, at first, pretty much there was maybe one person using the internet. So the next year, there was 1.76 people. Don't ask me how it works. 2.5 kids wasn't what I came up with. So, average family size. But up 76%. So this is not in nature ever a straight line. This is really here S-curve adoption comes into place. So we'll have a little bit of a look at that. But one of my things that the math model was severely lacking was any kind of adoption in it. And so 76% a year. So basically, if there was 100 people using the internet, there was 176 the next year. So the number went up to a total of 176% of the year before if you're going to use multiplication, which I love in Excel because I can compound it so easily. That's pretty fast adoption. It was adoption of a good networking product. That's a pretty insane adoption rate, but a pretty good one. To me, that sounds sweet, but crypto is taken it a notch higher. And the adoption rate for that is hovering, depending on where you're looking, at least 115% per year. There are projected estimates that right now, crypto could overtake world population, kind of the way the internet did, in 10 years. Everybody's using it one way or another. Well, doesn't have to be broadband internet anymore, mobile devices, whatever internet connectivity. So crypto is growing at quite a rate. That is really impressive to me. And it got me thinking, how fast should a good crypto go? And the S-curve model and all that. So I had some fun tweaking the PulseX Math model. Made up for testnet numbers. Oh, so we're actually going to do some projections going back into the right way. So, before we dive straight into this, perhaps I should start. Let's see here. Let's see. No, this was not as fun as I wanted for images. I was going to be like, do not watch if you have heart problems. Is this menacing enough? I have a bunch of hearts in distress, or actually, yeah. Warning. Do not view if you have medical conditions. See what kind of image comes up for that. There, big old warning. We love warnings. Wow, internet, you have failed me. I should have gone to that AI thing that John Oliver did. It was actually kind of funny. You could ask that AI to draw any image you wanted, and it would do it. Oh, I'm almost tempted to go there. All right. Create any art. Stack Jasper AI. This might be it. Oh, do I have to sign up? Oh, so much for that. I was going to waste some time getting it to make this image for me. Warning, do not do not watch this episode anymore. Right here. Yeah, run away from this episode if you have any kind of heart condition, or stress disorders, maybe even prone to strokes. I don't know what this is going to do to your blood pressure. You've been warned. All right. I am not a financial advisor. I am also not a medical practitioner. So we're gonna have some look at some numbers, and we're gonna come back and do a separate video for some stuff tomorrow too. By the way, public copy of Publicly Providing Math for PulseX. Perhaps it would be a good idea if I showed you guys this. So on my Twitter, if you don't go to this stuff, there's a URL now, a really convenient URL right in the bio of my Twitter. And look at this. We're going to come back and talk about these wonderful how to pulse people as well in another video, because I've got to go altcoin, and I don't want to mix that in with PulseX. So if you're RH maximalist completely, but there's no other possibles, I respect it. I think he is building the best, but I think there's some close seconds. And so that's a matter of debate between the community. All right, those videos are separate. You don't have to watch them. Just unlike, unsubscribe. You don't have to get all these wonderful tips and all this information I put out here on Twitter. Like, I'm not a financial advisor, but here, apparently Magic 8 Balls are giving me advice, Monsters Under My Bed, Chicken Bones. So, if you want to know what apparently is talking to me in my head that I'm claiming is not schizophrenia, by all means, hop on Twitter for my non-financial advice and entertainment. I'm getting all over the place. It's been a while since I talked to you guys, and I am pretty excited in the fact that, hey, I've got a how to pulse. That's not it. Or did I already close it completely? Yeah, I've got a how to pulse page. Like, how awesome is that? Thank you guys for giving me a how to pulse page. Oh yeah, I already had it open. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing too fancy. There's my logo, and then, okay, a video, and we've got some links. What do you mean I got links? I got links. All right, I got YouTube. You can get straight to my Twitter. You can go to Top Gun Crypto School. That's my Telegram. Yeah, there's even a buy Trezor link, because I believe in that. I even included a download for Ubuntu in case that's the way you want to go. And Tails, because if you're going to go that route, go all the way. Really learn it. And then, yeah, here it is. The link for this Google Sheet. Yes, I gave you some math. It's out there in the public for you to try and break. I added this line across the top. Very simple to use. Estimated starting price of token 1, whether it be Pulse or something else. This is asset to asset over here. So you can do token 1, start price, and end price, whether that's now and the future or the past to now. You can do that the same with asset 2. So it could be Pulse to PulseX, it could be any non-stable coin assets. And then they'll compilate over here. But we'll also need, because it's going to do some more things, you'll want to calculate how many fees, like how many tokens collected in fees from the two sides of the pair in token 1 and token 2. And then, very finally, the last piece of information all the way over here. I should also maybe make that the same color. Please be polite and try not to break this completely on people. I may not have locked everything. If there's something broken, let me know. I'm not a coder. I'm a script kiddie. I just am exceptionally well with Excel. So over here, how big is the one side of the asset pair? So, $10,000 of Pulse and $10,000 of PulseX. Okay. But you can change any of these numbers in the white cells across the top. Don't touch the rest of it. It's locked. You don't need to touch anything else. The rest of it's read only. You change these numbers starting and end prices, amounts collected, and it runs it. Yep, it runs it through some calculations here. You get some breakdowns, some totals, what's going on. Pulse value, PulseX value, loss, gain. Oh, total impermanent loss. What after fees? Oh my golly gee. It spits out its own magic 8-ball number right there. And what if we change that to like 40? Doom? Is it still a good idea? Yeah? What if we change that to 20? Not a lot of volume, not a lot of trading happened. Oh, well then we might have actually eaten a bit of bullet for impermanent loss there. Ouch. Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to change those. Oopsie. Alright, yeah. Hardy har har. I can play with this sheet because I'm the creator. There we go. These numbers up here are the ones we want to change. Hardy har har. So yeah, we change that to 20. There we go. Change that to say 40. Oh. And that changes the math. And then, oh, it tells us what kind of stuff is going on. It's an asset to asset calculator. This one, hey, if I'm just going to pair something with a stable coin, like USDL from Liquid Loans, oh, all right, cool. Yes, I do talk about some other protocols that are important to Pulse Chain. I believe that it's a good stable coin. I believe it's a good stable coin. It is really well thought out and really well designed. There's some really good things coming to it. I'm not doing a video on that. Plenty other people have and have their strategies. That's not my thing. My thing is the DEX. Decentralized exchange, PulseX, providing liquidity for things. Liquidity math. I love it. So here, this is some base liquidity math. Like, this is kind of the, working gears, the pistons of my bigger math model. I've shown you in many videos how to make this stuff, but I know your eyes just kind of crossed over. Who cares? Give me the numbers. Give me the numbers. I want moon. I don't do moon math. Just math sometimes moons. I'm not the one that invented math models, okay? So, alright, let's talk about something before we dive right into it. One more thing. We're going to talk about S-curve. Now, at least, S-curve adoption. Sure, Bitcoin. Why not? Images. Alright, so here's some S-curves. The idea is adoption starts very, very slowly. And then it starts to speed up, gets exponentially faster, and then starts to slow down, and it suddenly gets exponentially slower. Now, this is a cycle of adoption, but it doesn't mean that that cycle happens just once. I mean, it's pretty kind of hindsighty to see. Now, there was one that kind of goes along the Bitcoin chart showing. I thought there was a better one that was kind of zoomed in that shows like a slow adoption, then faster. Like it goes in closer than these years. Because I believe that I would believe that in the first year of a good project, you'd see a major run up on the S curve and then a flattening out. And if it's still really good, within 5 years, you'd see another S curving up on the adoption model. And then even if it flattened out towards 10, like this happening in Bitcoin, you start to see another curve up in adoption of the model. So overall, I kind of think of it as a 3-period S, not just going in one stage, like some of these things try to track. Like this is just Bitcoin adoption. But I'm thinking that new cryptos in a land popularly flooded with crypto could have some interesting adoption rates. So how do I scale those? All right, we're going to come back to crystal ball. All right, so PulseX here. We've got this set to 1%. There are roughly 1.5 million Uniswap users doing quite the average volume per day. So, what 1%, 15,000. That would be all the people using and swapping this DEX, playing with it and giving it value. I'm pretty sure I remember 10 times that. sacking for PulseX, which means a minimum bullish reading of 10% of Uniswap's fees from the activity on PulseX. Alright, that's how I set the clutch. Now, the gas pedal. It right now is set to just 1% adoption. I know it says 101, but that's a multiplication of what there was the year before. Like I said, 76% adoption is 176. 1% adoption is 101% of the year before. So that's how that's set. But what have I actually built? Because are there graphs? People like to look at graphs. Well, that looks pretty flat. Well, that looks kind of chargy. What's going on? That looks pretty flat line too. Of course, I have a pretty low adoption multiplier on there right now. The gas is cranked down. Oh, and we're still bogged with testnet numbers. However, someone did point out it's half the pair. And I think I did some scaling on that. Because that needs to be 600,000 or whatever. So I think it was 1.2 billion. So let's go have a look, shall we? PulseX value. There we go. Yep, there. That makes it. Oh, we might even want to bring it down a little. Still, all right. Let's make it 270. All right. Let's crank her all the way down to 250. There we go. All right. That looks like that is set to the appropriate testnet levels of liquidity, which is still insane. Now, on the what if game, over here, I've added some new numbers down the side of the first year in the months, and then even continuing in the years. And I, of course, went in and changed some equations. So now I've had to add some if statements and some other stuff that'll just cross your eyes over. Here's like one of the example formulas I was doing for scaling. But let's have a look at what my scaling actually does. So for example, what happens now when you set this crystal ball bullish? This is the assumed adoption rate in 12 months, in 1 year. So for the first year, I scaled down from that 12-month goal. Now, that means I'm expecting within a year that everyone that sacked PulseX should be using it and then trying to get more people. And we can talk about the adoption rate from there. But meanwhile, there's still a downscaling. So what's going on is, all right, 150,000, basically. I can set the first base number at 10, as in 10%, I divide it by 10. So that's 10%, 15,000 people using it within the first month. That's nowhere near Top Gun. What are you doing, you crazy bastard? Well, that's okay. It's only divided by 5.5 the second month. So what am I saying there? That there'll be over 25,000 users, getting closer to 30. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, what about the third month? Oh, well, by then, seeing how it's only divided by 3, like we're just see how we're starting to jump here. So that's 50,000 users. Boom. Yeah. So I have this formula that scales it up. If you really don't agree, you can pop in the comments. I could make it say, start at scale 5, and then, the formula automatically adjusts on the way down for me. Yeah, because that's the way I'll build things like a crazy tycoon. All right. Woohoo! So, yeah, I think divided by 10 for the first month, and then it scales up to full use at the end of the year. So that's how I set my first year. And yes, it's a dividing equation that's not quite Fibonacci spiral, but it spirals into an S growth of slowdown towards that 1 year. After 6 months, oh, it's only, you know, divided by 1.2. Like that's nothing. That's nothing. That's nothing. That means it's about 80% of full capacity in half a year, scaling up to 100% by the end of the year. All right, so that's how I play with the numbers. Don't worry about the pink ones. That's for another project for tomorrow's math. But today, yeah, we're going to stay fixed on white one. This one be for PulseX. So, yeah, I set it low at just 10% usage that first month, and then at like closer to 45% usage the next month, and so on and so forth, until it gets all the way better. Okay? So that's how I scale up at the end of the first year. And then what really becomes important is our adoption rate. So let's say 1% on here is really minimal. This is pretty much shot in the foot. And this is assuming that we only get to a maximum of the people that sacrificed for it, and everyone provides liquidity like a drunken sailor. Okay. Yeah. $100 investments too. I even shrunk that down for little guys. This is that kind of atmosphere market. But that's 10 years for 57x. I'm not sure, but that might still be better than the Nasdaq's returns. In crypto, it's like, oh man, what are you doing? Shooting in the foot, that sucks. But to know that you could plan for retirement and the system would just buy it up like this is still just a model of what the automated system does. I still have the capacity to add market buy and market sell pressure to this thing, but they're not. So if this thing is just going up in value anyway, aren't people going to want to buy it so they can ride that up in value? And if they're buying it, doesn't mean it's probably going to go up in value faster than this. So I'm expecting that even when it corrects down, this is going to hold like minimum values, and then it should always trade above. It's kind of a way that I like to think about this, but I'm not a financial advisor. I just do black magic in the black arts with Excel. So here we go. Yeah, that's pretty boring, right? Pretty boring. Not a lot of going on here. Graph doesn't really do much. But who thinks that the most liquid, cheapest to use DEX on one of the fastest chains is only going to get 1% adoption? What if we even just crank that to 10% adoption? What do you think? What do you think that looks like? Yeah, what do you think that looks like? Boom. All right. In our first year, off $100, can 20x. Wait, what? 5-year model says 42x. Wow. Alright. 10-year model. Wow. Wow. Is that 100x in 10 years? It's not too shabby. And a 670x in 20 years for an appreciating asset. At just 10% growth adoption, does the S curve start to show? Just a little bit in this 20-year. Oh, and I set the 20-year to log. Yeah, I got smart. And I set some graphs to log for what I was doing here because of the way it's going to show. So, 110%. What about 115%? I like 115% because that's what they say crypto's growing at, but they mean 215% when they say that of the year before. So, when I enter that magic number, okay, doesn't really change the first year too much. But year 5, let's see, we're good for almost a 50x. Then we're down for 165x within 10 years. And we'll all be, is that a 2,240x on a 20-year forecast asset? Wouldn't that be nice to cash out for retirement? Oh, that would be nice. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. There's no guarantee this thing will work. There's no guarantee it'll launch. I mean, I was still in my diapers when I sacked for PulseX. I was a young man when I sacked for Pulse. I'd like to be buried with my treasure. So, sorry, had to go there. There's a lot of optimism starting to float around that maybe it's coming soon, but I might have been a little hardened and jaded by those words that give me trauma. Do not say them. Don't put them in the comments. Don't. So, anyway, want to step it up a little further because this is a good crypto project. Okay, what's 125% look like? Oh, and I'd like to stress that on a 20-year model, I've crunched the numbers on a 20-year model. Basically, this thing can't go over 175%, or else it's ramped up over the long term, compoundedly, by the time it gets to 20 years, to more than the population of the planet. All right, so 1 through 75 are the settings for this thing. We're already up to 1/3 speed on adoption because it cycles up. It slows down and it cycles up, and it slows down and it cycles up from that number. All right, I have this thing wiggling around like a worm on a hook. Now, in our 5-year forecast, instead of our 20x in the first, we're looking at, wow, we're looking at 71x in 5 years. Isn't that fun? And oh yeah, to make sure people can see this graph because I'm in front of it. Yeah. Oh, are we starting to see the wibble wobble in the graph? The S adoption, and this isn't of the crypto token. This is use of the product, adoption of the use of the project that gives it its revenue, that gives this whale its buying power. That's what this is looking at. How powerful this whale buyer becomes, whether it will attract other buyers to swim alongside of it. Are we having fun yet? Are we having fun yet? Now, Richard Hart with his outrage marketing and his giant PP. I think he's aiming for at least halfway to world-breaking dominance. Of course, that's not how the scale actually works as it scales up. But now we are looking at, this is a 35% adoption rate. That means 35% more people are using it each and every year, compounded. That's what this adoption rate curve is. And yes, we broke 100x, 113x in 5 years. And we've gone ahead and cracked 1,000, 1,440x in 10 years. Oh my. Oh my. So wait. Whoa. That jumped so exponentially by year 20 with the adoption curves that, whoa, $100 got to 50 million on testnet numbers of drunken liquidity? No. You wanna see it, like, guys, I know I will go through and run through this numbers with you so you realize that basically, again, 1 year of users, 150,000. If we take this thing, do you want to go there yet? Let's go another step. really talk about when I get to max. Like, this is still not all the people on the planet using it. This is probably about half the people on the planet using it after 20 years. We're up to 50% more each and every year because PulseX is that awesome. All right, let's have a look at what the math did. Still doesn't affect that first year, really, does it? No, not the way I have it scaled, even though the number is in there in that equation. Yeah, that's a 268x in 5 years. Oh, we're looking at 8,479x in 10 years. And holy crap, is that a 26 million X? That can't be bloody right. $100 couldn't be worth 2 billion. Well, there's so much in circulation, people would be selling like nuts on this, claiming money. But, as long as people use PulseX, it won't stop buying. It will act like a drunken sailor, except no need to leverage. Everyone that makes a swap through PulseX is giving money to this drunken PulseX sailor to buy more PulseX token because it believes in himself. It's programmed. So it's not dumb enough to leverage. Whoa, what? Yeah, it just keeps dumping money into that liquidity pool. Yes, people will take it out, but people will also put it in, chasing this stuff, which will change the adoption and all that jazz. But as you can see, oh my god, yeah, price, $2 million a token kind of stuff. Like, that can't be possible. Well, it kind of can, because Richard Hart built it. But you want to talk impossible, we'll go all the way to record breaking or world breaking, because I don't know if half the world will use this in 20 years. With crypto, it's Wild Wild West. Everything could change in 10 years, in 5. That's why I have snapshots along the way. But wow, maybe it never gets the second S curve. After the first big rush up, it starts to settle down into the 10-year, which is amazing. Adoption dies off from year 5 to 10. And look at what the price still goes up, because it's already ramped up to so much buy pressure that this is almost a lagging indicator. Like, I love how this shows how price and adoption don't necessarily move together. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. I'm learning a lot from my own math model. It's schooling me. I'm not even kidding. I built the thing and it's teaching me things. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I just hope I never hook it up to an AI program. It'll break us all. Anyway, it's not that smart. I mean, I'm only scaling it with what are like weighted averages, like they'd put into an AI architecture. Don't put my math model into an AI architecture, okay? So, anyway, somebody out there's gonna do it. We're all gonna die. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think that liquidity will be as big as it is on testnet. So let's go for world breaking adoption to get over these testnet liquidity numbers. Yeah, that's right. We wow, 1,499x in 5 years from the initial 1 year and 5 year pike ups. By 10 year, the residual, oh, holy, $14 PulseX. $100 could be worth 14 million. That's insane. So insane. So insane. Is that $1 trillion? That cannot be $1 trillion. Is that a 10 million X? 100, 900,000, 200 million, billion, 1 trillion. No, $100 couldn't be worth 1 trillion in 20 years if it broke the world and everybody decided this is how we get there. All right, 175. Go ahead and take 1.75 as a base number. And then 20 years. Okay? And what do? This base number gets sent to an exponent of 20. Boom. All right, now that tells you how much larger the adoption is 20 years later. So we take now this number, we're talking about our Uniswap, and we multiply it by the number of X's to adoption, basically. Whoa! I don't know why that's popping down there. Wouldn't that be easier to see if we put it in numeric? It would. All right, that's 10 billion. There are currently 8 billion people on the planet. There might be 10 going on 11 in 20 years. Wow. That's what I mean by adoption getting there. So what I did, instead of making it a straight line, if we go to the what if game, you can see after 20 years, the exponent is 20. But I had a ramping effect. All right, I used a Fibonacci spiral up over the first 5 years and then a ramp down, dividing 1 into halves. I didn't write the formula down. I just kind of applied it in these numbers. But basically, no matter what, they run up over the year and over the months. So the months is a scale down from my 1 year, from my 12-month. There it is, my price without a number, changing it in exponents because it's the base one. And then, yeah, we have exponents 2, 3, 5, 8. So it starts to Fibonacci up, but I don't put much of an S-curve into that. I mean, I could have more fun with that S-curve. I can adopt that change that S-curve. But I put it in as a simple idea that by the 10th year, we balance back at an exponent of 10, and then we start to Fibonacci up again. So we reach 19 very fast, but then we slow down into 20 as an exponent. Trust me, it works. But I have to look at, there's other ways to scale this S-curve. But now that I've thrown the S-curving data points in, I am able to build a model which gives me insane price predictions. But an actual look at, now the S-curve is insanely visible in the price. Insanely visible in the price. And the first year I had to leave off log because it wouldn't do the price readings properly if I didn't leave it on standard for the first year. But yeah, this is set to insanity. So over the 20 years, how many compound, how efficient? Really, it's dang good. I think that a minimum of 115 is reasonable. And that is still some pretty kick-ass X's over time. I think that is completely reasonable. But I think this liquidity isn't. Let's at least scale it back to maybe 50 times. Now that we know that 250 is about our scaled. Like, I expected very, very little liquidity. And hey, a lot of projects might want to pair into it. And I like to see a large hex pair. So what does happen though if we slow down? Oh my god, 300x in the first 5 years? Now, check your pacemakers. Check them. Are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Yeah. We're gonna scroll down and look at these graphs. Oh, now we can actually see like tenths of a cent going up in that first year, which doesn't seem impressive until you do things like logarithmic. And oh my dolly, what we could do with limited adoption and modestly oversized liquidity. Man, I'm glad I didn't just buy $100 of this. Because I'm going to have to sell $100 of this to live on for the rest of my life. Retirement. At least in another 20 years. Again, that's with no one else in the market buying, and PulseX only getting 15% adoption and only getting to the 150,000 users after a year. Yeah, I'll pull a whole bunch of gears into this thing. And I'm pretty proud of how it might simulate adoption and the activities of the PulseX buy system. Because the only reason that it'll ever get neutered and not buy is if everyone falls asleep and doesn't want to get paid to push the button over here that says, oh, burn, oh, connect wallet, oh yeah, I gotta select some assets. Yeah, that's right. Oh, no one doesn't, whatever. Connect my test wallet. Yes, I'm trying to show people something to make a pint. What's going on? Do I have to type in a password or something? Oh, whatever. It's one of those days. I've been working on the math model and my brain is scrambled. Alright? You get what you get. Oh, wait. There it is. Oh, that's cute. Come on, test wallet. I need you. There. Connect. MetaMask. There. Oh. Select these things. There. Burn! Is there not enough total? $4. Alright, let's just try the $4 pool. Burn. There we go. I should have, yes. Confirm the gas. There we go. That's the, there. I got fed. I got paid. It wasn't much, but I got paid to do that burn, and PulseX bought up its price a little. So that's right. Everyone can go feed themselves at the pellet feeder. That's the only reason is everyone in the world fell asleep and didn't want to get paid for pushing PulseX price up. That's how that mechanic works. Oh, okay. Yeah. I hope that makes a point. So, yeah, that's the chances of the buy and burn not running and getting activated on the net. This is, yeah, 10% of Uniswap. Don't worry about the MetaMask thing. That's for another project tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, that lower liquidity. That's right. I never even stepped up the adoption rate. So let's not toy with you so much. That's really conservative. I think that this is fair. 25% a year, convincing, and maybe even in the bear market adoption rates. And that could mean a 500x in 5 years. And that could mean a 7,984x in 10 years. And holy crap, a 788,191x in 20 years could potentially mean. Yes, people will be selling out to this. People will be buying in. What kind of adoption will we get? Let's step this up to the kind of crazy 50% adoption every year. 50% more people using it. And 4,000x, 4,120x in the first 5 years. Then we're looking at 195,924x in 10 years. And a grand total of 664 million, and I'm not reading the rest, X's in 20 years. No way. And I know you guys really want to see world breaking. I know you do. I know you do. Alright, you want to see world breaking? Well, let's assume it starts fully populated with the 150,000 users and scales up to Uniswap's full users after 1 year. You know all we have to do to change that? Let's change the bullish reading. Bam! You got your pacemakers. You ready for this? This can't be real, but it is. It is. It is. It's a 362,000x in 5 years. There's just no way in hell people won't be selling their tokens into this. And I can simulate those sell-offs. Don't forget, I have ways to simulate those sell-offs. Because, that's $6.6 billion or $1 trillion for a $100 investment after 20 years. No, it can't. No, it can't. There's no way it could exert that much buy pressure. And you know what? If it was, there might be some idiots that might even provide more liquidity. But would people maybe even provide less liquidity knowing their asset is going to be bought up in this manner? Because all that you do when you throw any of these for sale is give it to the hungry hippo. That is the PulseX buy and burn. Oh my, me oh my, Miss American Pie. Let's go ahead and set it back to that bullish liquidity of drunken sailor, double what it was in the pairs. Can we even slow this thing down? Oh my God, I need some breathing room. Even if people went nuts providing liquidity and provided billions of dollars of liquidity, eventually the adoption will compensate, so we'll get a 3,395x in 5 years, 159,000x in 10 years. And if for some reason crypto does not evolve in advance and we can go to Bitcoin maxi status and go, woohoo, we're vinyl, no longer are we 8-track. What is that? That's 539 million X's, and I'm not reading the change. All right, I hope you guys have fun with this for the day and that you're not dead. I've been doing most of my market chart callouts, but I will give you a peek at my market charts. So, Hedron, what are the tea leaves saying to me? How are they saying it? If you watch my Luna video, you notice I had some luck tracking parabolics like the curve in here. Well, we're still in the mighty glory trend here. Like they need their own colors. We haven't even broken out orange. So I believe yellow, because of the way that this price point has acted, I believe when we hit, if we fall through the orange, which I think is likely, bounce off the blue and get firm support, and then shore up it on the yellow and off to test the 8.3. If somehow the RSI has corrected all the way down and it doesn't stay down, and it does not pull that price under this trend line, we are going mooning right at that price point that I called out on this wonderful place called Twitter. And I'm also going to include this link right here. I'll include that in my video title description. Even if you can't read it, it's howtopulse.com/ you guessed it, top-gun-Xadian. I think that's pretty wicked. I really do. So, Hedron is complementing Hex and doing interesting things. I was looking at Icosa, which has almost been acting like a stable coin so far. I haven't had the time to deep dive into the math. I just understand the complementary effect and the staking abilities, and I may own a Hedron stake. I have said since the beginning that it's complicated. There's a lot of minting and raining that can happen above the head, a lot of volatility. I wasn't as bullish on it as other things, but I still said I saw the value of it as a long man's game, that I appreciated that it created a Hex stake as a bond, as an NFT. That's amazing. Just, I didn't have enough money to go play in it, so I couldn't even get enthusiastic about it because I couldn't afford gas fees on ETH. Is what it is. But I did grab some Hedron, and I may have staked my Hedron more recently. I might be enjoying some of the things that I may have created, as ashamed as I am, my first NFT. It was not an art project. It's a WhatsApp! So I wish I was making that up. It's gonna trend out there somewhere. Someone get the scary movie one too, the really obnoxious what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up. So anyway, yeah, we'll see. But I am not even worried that we're gonna come back and touch the screen, because right now I think even above that bull trend, we cracked into another channel. So we've got all kinds of lines of support prompting that Hedron is possibly gonna at least kick some kind of bull run here. Anyone in crypto, like, she's not out of fire yet. She is not out of steam, according to the Magic 8 Ball. However, Apple, as I've mentioned on Twitter, oh, hey, look, that yellow line, that's the short. Oh, yeah, 172.26. And expectations or stop loss, 180, and it got to 176. I'm going to brag about that all the time, all right? Richard Hart's got Bitcoin to the day. I've got Apple to the week. Mostly because, yeah, I shorted it a couple days early. Anyways, back to the hour where you can see it. Then I finally went into profit. Hurrah. And, oh, did I say there might be a bounce off that? Yeah. Oh, did I say we might find just a little support and bounce there for a day? Oh, yeah, and we did. And we fell through it. And then once this is cracked, I'm like, oh, all hell is loose. And then I wasn't expecting Thursday to be short covering day, but Thursday afternoon, some unexpected short coverings. Respect. Always be booking profits if you're a degen. And then back to the pain of the market as new shorts reopen and people dove back in. So yeah, 150 is the critical support. All right, this is going to matter on the long term of things, where you go, because there's still a small hope and argument for the bulls that when hitting that, there might be a chance to still bull trend up, that this might have been a head and shoulders reversal pattern, which I don't believe. This was partially short covering rally, then algorithmic trading rally, and then mania pump and dump. And so the pain is going to be coming right back down. This is where I would book profits from my short, because I have a funny feeling we might get a hefty bounce off this. And then I think it's going to be back to crash time, because, yeah, that failed. So, which means I'm just going to delete that. I really don't believe in it, because over the longer trend, we zoom out, and hey, what rate did it? Let's go to the 4 hour. See the rate it crashed at before? What rate do you think it's going to crash at again? No, history never repeats itself. It does like to rhyme, though. So, I mean, you could book some profits to be safe. This is a critical support, as it's been established. And even 140 and 120 are kind of critical supports for the next range. If you do book and reopen, if there's a bounce here, it'll really depend on what the market decides to do over the course of the week. It's going to be a shortened week because of the holiday, and people are going to be nervous with the Fed's coming. So I'm expecting 150 and hold. Not much of a bounce. People are going to be a little confused. If volatility drops down, that'd be the time you open puts. Apparently. I mean, that's what the monster under my bed said. So, yeah, Apple for next week is not looking so great for the outlook. And that generally means if it falls because of ETFs and all its connection, it throw punches the NASDAQ, and Tesla is coming with it. You see, that's not in a great position either. I was like, oh, what happened to all my lines? This was funny. I'm going to show you guys. This is hilarious. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, yeah, their stupid stock split. That's so annoying. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. Let's have a look. Does that even line up anymore? No. It just scales off into 0. I'll have to draw a new one. Delete. Does that even line up anymore? No. It's wrong. I'll have to draw a new one. That's alright. Does this line up? Whoa. That still lines up. That might be the fall angle. Might be. We'll leave that. I don't think we're going to any kind of all-time new highs. So, hey, let's get rid of this garbage. It's kind of cute when we clean this up. I find this kind of interesting. This is where Fibonacci kind of stuff comes in, proportions. It got divided into thirds, and oh, look. Now that it's cleaner, it's still traveling between earlier trend lines. Isn't that kind of cool? You learn something new every day. This is why traders love the patterns on their charts, because other traders are watching patterns on the chart. It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It doesn't mean you know what the chart's going to do next, but by understanding TA and fundamentals of the market and world environment around me, well, yeah, the magic 8 balls speak to me, the clouds in the sky make pretty shapes, the tea leaves curl, the chicken bones scatter, and I will keep coming at you with these fun things while I wait to do cooler and cooler math on projects to make myself bullish again. Again, Don, from that project I'm going to do a video on tomorrow. Thank you again for giving me that idea. And if you're all here at the end of this video, I'm just going to say thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow I'm going to do another project video. I'm going to see if I can irk another one out this week or next. And sometime soon, I'm going to be having KG on to talk about their project. So thank you very much for tuning in to this edition of Pulse Radio with the super bullish math and a little peek at Hedron and Hex. And I mean, yeah, people ask me why I don't like reflection tokens, which is interesting. Why don't I talk about any of these projects? I like protocols that really enhance things. But reflection tokens, they're shell games. And I can do a math model to explain why they go up and down. I can actually do that really well on paper. But I don't know why I'd build a whole math model. I mean, maybe I need to build a math model to show what happens to the price chart of a reflection token. I don't know. Maybe I need to build that. You can let me know in the comments. In the meantime, there's other assets that I like that I'm very bullish on. And again, this is Pulse Radio. You're not still here at the end of the video on Pulse Radio. This is for my hardcore viewers. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Stay frosty, and I'll talk at you later.